We have been inside for too long. Inside our routine, inside our screens, inside our head. When was the last time we felt the wind on our face without rushing somewhere? When was the last time our children ran wild without Wi-Fi? Or we stood at the edge of a cliff and remembered how small our worries really are. Maybe what we are craving isn't a break, it is a reset. We may come from different worlds, different cultures, different stories. But here, nature speaks a language we all understand. Welcome to Durlston Country Park. A place where clifftops tell stories. The sea stretches beyond imagination, and every trail brings you closer to nature, to wonder, and maybe even to yourself. Durlston Country Park is a 320-acre clifftop nature reserve just outside Swanage, offering stunning coastal views, wildlife-rich woodlands, and well-marked walking trails for all levels. Getting here is simple. It's a short drive from the Swanage town centre with ample of parking and EV charging points on site. If you prefer public transport, 50 Purberg Breezer from Bournemouth gets you to Molam Court, from where it's a 40 minutes walk to this natural reserve. If you take a train to Swanage, you can then take a 30-minute walk up to the park. And there is always an option to take a taxi. Before you set out, it's always a good idea to come prepared. Wear comfortable shoes, weather-appropriate clothing, get water, snacks, or whatever you need to make the most of your day. As you make your way towards Durlston Castle, you will pass through some of the park's unique features, including the timeline walkaway. It's a great way to get a sense of just how far back this landscape story goes. We are here with one of Durlston's rangers who knows this place better than anyone else. Let's hear from them why this timeline is a fascinating part of the park. Hi Katie, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
So, how is this timeline important for this country park?
So the Durlston timeline is very important for the country park because it has two great ideas about it. One of them is it gets you from Durlston Castle to the car parks via a nice, gentle, relatively gentle, zigzag, flat route to allow people to get down there in their buggies or their wheelchairs or whatever. But it also gives you 4.5 billion years of the time of the Earth has been around. It gives you some idea of how long it takes to get there, how big it is, and just the time in general, because it's a massive length of time people don't understand.
From here we arrive at the Durlston Castle, a Victorian-built structure dating back to 1880s. Durlston Castle was originally built by George Burt, a local businessman with a passion for education and nature. Though it was never a real castle, it was designed as a grand folly, a place to inspire visitors with views of the coast, knowledge, and art. Today, it stands at the heart of the park as a modern visitor centre where old charm meets practical information. Here, you can also find mobility trampers available on request to ensure a smoother, more comfortable visit across the trails, just in case if you need one. One of the highlights inside is the photo wall, a striking display of local wildlife, landscapes, and moments captured in the park. The wall shows things you might see as you explore the country park. It is changed monthly, so it highlights seasonal stuff. Near the entrance, the help desk is your go-to spot for any questions about the park, trails, or upcoming events. At the top of the Durlston Castle is the Belvedere, a glass-sided room with stunning views over Durlston Bay, the Isle of Wight, and Old Harry Rocks. It was built to combine education, architecture, and natural beauty into one experience. It's a space to pause and take in the landscape that has inspired visitors for generations. Set within the grounds of Durlston Castle, the Seventh Wave Cafe offers stunning views over Durlston Bay, the Channel, and the Isle of Wight. You can enjoy a freshly made breakfast, lunch, or a slice of cake either inside the cozy restaurant or out on the terrace with sea breeze. It's a perfect spot before heading into the park or after a walk at the coastal path. The Fine Foundation Gallery at Durlston Castle offers a year-round mix of exhibitions from fine art and craft to wildlife, geology, and local history. With stunning sea views, excellent acoustics, and a high-quality sound and projection system, it also hosts live music theatre and film events. Just next to the gallery is the Rock Room, an interactive space that brings Durlston's Jurassic past to life.
But we can tell far more than that from the clues in the rocks. Look at the ripples that lap across the face of this slab.
If you ever wondered what this coastline looked like a million years ago, the Rock is the best place to start. Just a short walk from the visitor centre, past the stone paths and sea views, stands something truly unexpected. At first glance, it looks like a monument. Still, silent, carved in stone. But the Great Globe is more than just a landmark. It's a story in itself. Commissioned in the 1880s by George Burt, a local stonemason turned visionary, the globe was built not to impress kings, but to inspire everyday people. Made from 15 segments of Portland stone, each weighing over 2 tons, it was engraved in London, transported by rail and sea, and pulled up this hill by horse and cart. All this effort for knowledge. Surrounding the globe are plaques filled with Victorian-era facts, not of empire or conquest, but of science, astronomy, and peace. At a time when education was a privilege, Bert wanted the space to belong to everyone. Even today, standing in front of it, you can feel it. A quiet reminder that learning, nature, and wonder should not have any barriers. Just curiosity and courage to explore. From the Great Globe, the adventure continues. Durlston offers a variety of scenic trails, each with its own unique way of experiencing the landscape. Whether you're in the mood for a gentle stroll or a more challenging coastal walk, there's something here for every pace and ability. The paths take you through wildflower meadows, quiet woodlands, coastal cliffs, and sweeping Jurassic views. To give us a better idea of what each trail has to offer, we have Katie here from Durlston Country Park.
So if you're visiting Durlston and want to take a little stroll, we've got a number of trails you can follow around. There's all of which are signposted. There's a lovely trail which takes you all the way into Swanage if you want a long walk, which is about 3 miles round. It's called the Victorian Trail, and that goes through a little bit of a meadows, down a couple of hills, through Swanage and back up the hill, which is about a mile uphill through the woods, along the coast path, looking at all the Victorian features that Swanage has to offer. But if you want a shorter route, which many people do, we have a lovely route through the woodlands, which is about 3/4 mile, and it's relatively flat. Well, it goes up and down, but only relatively flat along there. So it's good, really good for buggies or people with young kids. Where there's also, as you walk through there, fantastic views, some nice benches to sit on, and also a nice little activity play trail if you fancy having a little sit on a hammock or a swing as you go along. Really lovely through that bit. Nice shade as well if it's warm or raining. There's also a very nice route called the Clifftop Trail, which, strange enough, goes around the clifftop, and you follow that. It goes fairly steeply downhill, but then takes you around past the Great Globe, which is a wonderful Victorian feature of the globe. You need to see it, really. And then that carries along the clifftops with fantastic views out across the sea, where you might see some seabirds, mammals, or lots of wonderful wildflowers as well as you go along that one. And then followed by uphill section, lots of nice seats to sit on the way though.
Clifftop Trail is favourite of many. It is not only rich in views and wildlife, but it also leads you to the Dolphin Hut. This small shelter is a designated lookout point for marine wildlife, especially dolphins, which can often be seen along this stretch of the Jurassic Coast. It's a peaceful spot to pause, enjoy the view, or catch a glimpse of something special out at the sea. Just beyond the Dolphin Hut lie the Tillywim Caves, hand-carved limestone quarries dating back to the early 1800s. Once used to supply stone during the Napoleonic Wars, these cliffs echoed with the sound of cranes or whims, lowering blocks to waiting boats below. Later opened to the public by George Burt, they became part of Durlston's early vision of education and exploration. The caves have become a hidden sanctuary for bats, nesting seabirds, and even passing dolphins and seals, all seen from the nearby cliffs. Though closed off now, but a lot of mysterious stories of smuggling brandy and silk have been associated with these caves. Durlston's Wild Play Trail is designed for kids to explore, move, and play freely in nature. You will find swings, a barefoot trail, feely boxes, and even the chance to make wild music along the way.
This is where the music starts. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Lights light up the trees.
Grown-ups can enjoy the views and wildlife nearby or simply relax in one of the woodland hammocks. There are also picnic benches throughout the park, perfect for a quiet lunch or a well-earned break during your visit. In the end, it's not the miles we travel that change us. It's the moments that move us. A quiet breath on a cliff top. The laughter of children under open skies. A trail that leads you somewhere you didn't know you needed to go. Here at Durlston, nature isn't just a backdrop. It is a teacher, a healer, a guide back to the parts of us that get lost in the noise. This isn't just a park. It is a reminder that stillness is strength, that wonder is necessary, and that no matter where you come from, you belong in places like this.